Hey everyone, welcome back to the Team Empire podcast. You're here with your host Shannon. Obviously, got a big guest on today, but first, our sponsor, Infinite Aesthetics. Don't forget to go and support the pod. Use the code Empire and shop online infiniteaesthetics.co.nz. Thanks for supporting the pod. Today's podcast guest, it's been one in the making, one in the works for a little while. Had to work hard to get him, but we got him on, and you guys have all been asking for him so much. So you can all shut up now because I've got him on here. All right, it's Jordan Earl. Welcome, Jordan. How are you?
Thank you for having me, and thank you for requesting me, people.
Yeah, so many, man. So they can all just like chill because we've got it done, and we're going to dive into heaps of shit. So we'll keep them happy, eh?
We're going in today.
Talk to us just briefly. I asked you about this before, but how are you? What's going on? Like, you're super busy, peak season. What's been going on with you just like lately?
It's good. Like same old for me. Work, 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 work. Busy few weeks, busy few months coming up. We got the show this weekend, the show next weekend, and then obviously nationals across a few federations in 6 weeks on Saturday, and then I've also got a few other shows that clients competing in other shows in other countries. So it's all happening. It's all happening, but it's exciting and I love it. So it's just it's a cool job because I just feel like I'm just having fun 24/7.
Yeah, just
Most of
doing.
the time anyway. Most of the time anyway.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's been fun to watch and watch all your competitors and athletes and everything. There's so many. We'll go into all of that. But your pod's been cool too. It's been so good to see you do a pod. Man, so many coaches. This is why I kind of did it. I was like, I'm gonna fucking put a fire up these guys' asses that we need coaches to be doing shit. And you were already in the game. So how's your pod going? It's been really fun to watch, by the
It's
way.
it's going good. It's slowed down a little bit recently just with
Yeah.
shows and stuff. I obviously have to prioritize that. And also I want to put things out that actually I don't want to just make content for the sake of making content. So
Yeah.
when we feel like, or when I feel like there's something I want to discuss or bring up or have someone on, that's when we'll do it. But it's been real good. Lots of good feedback. People enjoy it, which is cool, and people are getting something from it, which was the whole point. Like the whole point of it for me was to just teach people things or inspire people in some ways. And I also wanted it to be more than just about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
A lot of it's centered around bodybuilding, but things that people can take with other areas, because I've got people that watch it that have never been to a bodybuilding show before. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It's been good. I enjoy it too. Like, because a lot of the time you're just catching up with friends, really.
Yeah.
And people I don't usually talk to, like a lot of time, like my friend Harry, like we don't really like sit down and talk to each other. So it's cool
Yeah.
to talk for an hour and catch up, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I love it. Keep it coming, man, because everyone loves it. I get feedback all the time because I reshare some of your videos and stuff. And I'm like, I love it. So keep doing it. And I know you'll only do it more in off season anyway, probably.
For sure, for sure. Well, there's a lot more to talk about as well.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
once it's done.
Speaking of that, actually, have you watched any like bits of the show so far? Like, I know there wasn't really much on the live streams and stuff, but Body of Steel, Auckland Champs, and now Tournament of Champs. Have you watched any of that sort of back? And what do you think of the
Yeah, so I went to Auckland Champs. I saw snippets of the other two shows.
nice?
And yeah, did you ask what my opinion was?
Yeah.
If I'm completely honest, and I don't want to offend anyone, but I think so far the level of the standard across the board. I'm not saying there hasn't been standout competitors, because there has. There definitely has been a few, but across the board, I would like to see better. And when I say better, I mean more so in terms of like preparation and conditioning and whatnot, because the conditioning hasn't been, for a lot of people, hasn't really been what you would expect. But at the same time, I am also aware that for a lot of people, nationals is the goal. So a lot of these shows are just stepping stones on the way to nationals. So it's also something I think will get better as as the shows come and as nationals gets closer. So yeah, I'd like to see an improvement, if I'm completely honest with you. And like I said, I don't want to offend anyone. I'm not saying this to offend anyone, and I'm not saying there hasn't been because there's been some quality. Like there's been some people who have really impressed me
Mm-hmm.
so far at every show, actually, at all three of them. So
Yeah.
um, Yeah, but yeah, across the board, I think we can step it up a bit.
You can step it up. Yeah, and it's definitely not, it shouldn't be offensive. Like if you're in the sport, you shouldn't be offended that easy. I think you should use it as fuel, we should be like, okay, well, let's step this shit up then. Like look at Aussie, look at, the state. We're not there, but we should be fucking not falling far short. We should be pushing. And we're only 4.5 weeks out, 5 weeks out now. So the conditions should be fucking getting pretty good already,
And I mean, and conditioning is something anyone can improve as well. It's not like it's,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if your conditioning is not where it needs to be, well, it's pretty straightforward to improve it a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. Not always, but it's something that anyone can get better conditioning with the right approach and the right mindset. But I'm sure we'll dive into that.
Yeah, we will. I'm sure we'll get into all of that stuff. And so for the next few shows, just so everyone is on the same page, we've got South Islands this weekend, Welling next weekend, then a week off, and then Waikato, right? I think that's
Waikato's in 4 weeks on Saturday.
4 weeks. Yeah, so I think there's like a week break in somewhere.
Yeah, 1 week break. 1 week break.
Yeah. So have you got athletes on the stage coming up? Obviously you do. What do you reckon we can look forward to seeing over these next couple of shows?
So I've got a handful doing South Island on the weekend. I've got most of them are first timers, bar one.
Wow.
Yes, bar one. And then I've got a handful doing Wellington, which is half of first timers, half aren't. But Wellington, the team going to Wellington is going to be very competitive. And then a bigger group going to Waikato. Pretty much all of them will go to nationals, barring one or two, which will be up to them. They haven't decided yet. They're going to do it's their first time. Yeah, so I'm not putting pressure on. I said, hey, let's just do your regional, and then we'll talk about it on the Sunday, and we'll see if we want to keep pushing. I'm all for it if they do. And then I've also got a group doing Mo's Muscle the week after nationals, which is a combination of people who are competing and some who I just wanted to have more time. I didn't think they would, just for where they were at. They're new to the sport, so I thought pushing, for earlier shows was going to be a bit much for them. So we've put them in that one. So yeah, decent amount of competitors. It's not my biggest team I've ever coached in terms of numbers, but in terms of like quality and just as a whole, like it's been very enjoyable working with the group I'm working with. Like I honestly, like I feel very grateful this year with who I'm working with. Everyone's just on the same page. Everyone they just want to be their best, and that's all I ask for. That's all I ask for as a coach. I just want people to try their best to be their best, and where that makes people end up is, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. What will be. But as long as they give their best to the process, that's all I can ask for. So, and that's where we're at this year. So
yeah, they're looking good. I follow a lot of your athletes, as you know, and they all just they're really like excited and hungry, and I love to see that. Like they're fucking passionate about it. Lots of different looks amongst your team as well, so it's going to be really cool to see everyone up there and what the judges want on the day, because you've got so many first timers. A couple of my favorites, if I'm allowed to point them out. I've got one in each division of yours.
Oh.
My favorite for figure is Shay, because it's Shay,
Shay.
It's Shay. You can't beat Shay. And then wellness and bikini are both first timers that I love of yours. You've got Haley. Am I pronouncing your name right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And Tui.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're all great. All of them are great. They're all great. They all those three. They all really hard.
Gonna kill it.
Haley's like a long-term client, so I've worked with her. She came to me, I think it was in 2021. I think I could be wrong. It's around the end. She was prepping. She was meant to be 4 weeks out. She pulled the pin. She came to me, and I basically said to her, I was like, I'm so glad you pulled the pin, because you're nowhere near where you should be or where you could be. And the last thing you want is someone that you see potential in to have a bad experience and never want to compete again. So it was like, it's the right choice. Like, you made the right choice. And then last year she was going to compete, but she traveled and she got back, and I was like, no way. Like, we're going to have to rush everything. You're not going to look anywhere near how you could. Again, I want you to have a good experience. Yeah. You're going to do this right. And she just, okay, yeah, whatever you say. Did the work. And now, I mean, you've seen the photo. She looks not even good for a first timer. She looks fucking good. So yeah. It's just a good example of someone who's trusted me, done the work, not just during prep, but prior to prep. I'm not saying she's been perfect, because she wasn't. What the Haley you see now in terms of following the plan, training, her training was always pretty good. Like, we had to fine tune things, improve her form, but in terms of effort, it was always there. But just in terms of like mindset, following the plan, it wasn't how it is now. That's been a work in progress. with like a lot of them, but she's bought into the process, and now so I'm very excited to see how she looks on stage. It's gonna be a good package for sure.
We're all pretty excited about that, and Tui as well. She's been working hard, and if you follow her journey, you would have seen it. And all the girls are keeping it nice and quiet now, which is cool because they're just gonna blow up on stage. But it's been fun to watch. So I'll be watching those girls. I'll be up there with Tui. She's in my high class. So fuck.
Oh, nice. Are you doing the same? You're doing the same show, right?
Yeah, we're doing white ghettos. Dude, can you just fuck up her peak week or something? Because she's looking good, man.
You go, it'll be fine.
Nah, I'll gracefully take second to Tui, and I always say that because she's just a boss. So we'll see how we go, eh? What about you? Like, we're going to talk about you. We're going to dive into a bit of you. I don't know how much people know about you specifically because you always talk about everyone else, which is cool. But how did you get into fitness in the start? And then how did you get into bodybuilding and then coaching? Like, how did that all evolve for you?
I was actually just thinking about this morning. So I always played. I love sport. So sports, I love sport. I love football. I love it. Like, I love it more than bodybuilding. I couldn't live without it. So I always played that. I played at a high level, but I also always had like bad body image. So I was like a fat kid, and then I got taller and became skinny fat, and I was always quite self-conscious of my body. So I was playing football, and I was like, I want to look like Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, legit, that was my goal. I just want to look like Cristiano Ronaldo. So I got a nutritionist, and she helped me, and she got me ripped, and I was like, fuck, this is cool. Like, I had so much confidence. Me and my friend did it together, and it just one thing led to another, and I started getting like seeing my body change more and more and more, and I was just like, this is fucking cool. Starting to get addicted to it, and it made me like, I was wanting to train more than football was like 6 days a week. It was like every day, and it was just and I was playing at a high level, so I was like, fuck, what do I do? Like, I've worked all my life for this, but I just slowly transitioned. And then I started watching, like, I didn't really like how bodybuilders looked. I thought it was a bit too much, if I'm honest. But then I watched a few DVDs, Jay Cutler ones, and just one thing led to another. And I was like, fuck, you know what? I want to do a competition. So I gave football up, did a show. And funnily enough, the guy I competed with is one of my best mates, and he's competing in Waikato. And he hasn't competed since, and I'm prepping him, and he beat me. So,
damn.
Yeah. So it's a real weird, like. But anyway, he's looking really good. But anyway, I did my first show, and then the rest was just history. In terms of coaching, I did. So when my first show was in 2011, and then 2013 was my second show. And as I was prepping for that, I also prepped two young guys, two teenagers. With my very, very limited knowledge I had at the time, they both got in shape, but I was just, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I kind of knew a little bit, but I knew enough to make them look good. Back then as well, it was different. Like, it wasn't like it is now with Instagram, and there's all this access to information, all these different coaches. It was kind of like, I knew them from the gym. They went to my gym. They used to train legs with me sometimes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've prepped you boys. And that was it. And then I started working at Muscle and Fitness, which was Mo's gym. He gave me a job on the weekends. Yeah, this was back in 2000. So I started that in 2012. And then I started PTing and, doing random nutrition for this person. And then another friend would ask me to do a prep, and another friend would ask me to do a prep, and kind of just like that. And then I ended up going to like my other friend started a studio, and he ran boot camps. So I went with him, and we ran them together, and I was converting lots of the boot camp members to do nutrition, and then I was getting results with them, and then people would come for preps, and it just grew. And, during that process, what a lot of people don't understand is, like, in those early years, like, you're going to deal with a lot of people, especially with comp prep clients, who are extremely half-assed and extremely frustrating. They do not follow the plan. You cannot coach them how you want to, but you've just got to deal with it and suck it up, because that's how you create a reputation. No one, if you never prep anyone because I can't get good clients, you're never going to be able to show people what you can do. So you do that for long enough, you get the opportunity to work with someone with decent genetics. You do a good job with them. That's how it grew. So this is like 11-year journey. So I've been doing it for a while. I don't think people realize how long I've been doing it for.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Do you think you'll do it forever? Are you happy with it? Like, you love it?
Yeah, like I do love it. And I couldn't, like, it's definitely, like, for me, it's passion. So a lot of, and it's the way I coach is a lot of it is just based off passion, and that's why I'm so intense with it, and why I demand so much from people is because like I just want the best for you. You know what I mean? So as long as I feel that way about it, I'm going to do it. If that died, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I keep doing it because I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to work at a level that's not what I want it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that also comes down to choosing who I work with. And I'm getting better at, like, people know my deal. Never fought. Like, they know what to expect from me. They know they're not going to get pat on the back every day. They know it's not okay if you're cheating all the time. They know it's not okay if you're training soft. Like that's not okay because we're here to be our best versions. And again, that's not for me. That's for you.
Yeah.
So if you're not willing to do that, don't hire me. And people kind of get that. And I'm getting better at picking that. So I don't just take anyone on. I'll have a conversation with them and make sure we're on the same page. And if we're a month into the process and I'm like, this isn't going to work, I just shut it down and refer them on because I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste my time. And I want to save my energy. I've realized like saving your energy for the right people is so important because you only have so much energy.
Yeah.
And if frustration kills a lot of energy. So if you're frustrated all the time, you're wasting so much energy you could be using for positive things.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I've done it a long time, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to best operate. And I don't think that ever stops.
No, always learning, always, forever. Like, I mean, you're still young in the whole scheme of things. Like, there's some coaches out there done it another 20 years, still learning, you know. But I think your approach is good. I think the whole thing is like, you're here to work. If you want to be an athlete, you got to be an athlete, and you might be able to get some of these people to change their mindset, but some won't, and then that's it. You can't do fuck all with them. They're not made to be an athlete essentially because they don't have that fucking mindset. It is what it is, you know. Do you have any goals for coaching? Do you want to get some people, like some clients, to Olympia, or if you haven't already, I don't know, but like, is that kind of like one of your goals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I want everything. Like
yes.
Like I want to win everything. Like and like you're not gonna win everything. That's the truth. And like it's not always about winning, and it's about like I get so much fulfillment just from seeing people. Like I get texts sometimes and they're like, the way I think now since I've been working with you is totally different. And like to me, that's like I love hearing that shit because it translates to real life. But at the same time, like, yeah, I want to win everything. Like I want to win pro cards this year at nationals. I want my clients in South America to turn pro this year. I want to see like they're pro ready. I want them to go pro, then go win a pro show because they're that good. Like what coach wouldn't want to see their clients win and go to Olympia? Like, fuck yes.
Definitely. I'm
not gonna act like, oh no, like no, we're here to win. We're here to win. And look, who knows how long that'll take? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a goal for sure. Why? Like, I'm not gonna hold back on this. I love winning.
Book that private jet. Let's go, everyone. What about, okay, so what's your opinion on bodybuilding in the last, like, even 5 to 10 years? Maybe we'll stretch it, but like, has it changed much? Has it gotten better, worse? What's happened over that evolving of like the last 5 to 10 years?
Do you mean in general or in New Zealand?
Yeah, just kind of in general. Like, do you reckon, in general, all divisions and everything, like in New Zealand, do you reckon what's happened to it over that time?
The biggest influence has been Instagram, for sure. And Instagram is why it's so popular.
Yeah.
But Instagram is also why a lot of people do it. So it's a lot of people do this for validation from others, and so they can put up posts on Instagram and post about their show or post about their prep and be told they're amazing. But you've got to remember that's not real. Like that's not real life. And a lot of the time you'll get comments on people. Like I've seen guys comment on other guys' posts, be like, "Oh, mean improvements, bro," and then to talk to them later and be like, "Bro, did you see that guy? Like, fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of it's bullshit." So that's one thing. I think the sport's definitely growing. So it's a lot more popular. It's a lot more mainstream. It's good you said 10 years. That's, I've been doing it for a little bit longer than that, but about that. And back when I started, like it was, no one did it. Like no one did it. I would post sometimes on Facebook because there was no Instagram, or there was, but not really. It was when it was like not very popular, and like people just didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, bodybuilding. So it's a lot more popular. In terms of the physiques, it's always going to evolve, right? Like the guys are male bodybuilding has gone backwards for sure, 100% from 10 years ago. 1,000,000% it's gone backwards.
Everyone says that. Everyone
Yeah.
says
So
that.
the guys, I'm not talking about the 90s. I'm talking about like the 2009, 2000, Jay Cutler, Brian Coran, all those, all those guys, that Crocker guys, like they would smoke the lineup now.
Yeah.
Smoke it.
Yeah.
I think classic physique's going to have a big impact on open bodybuilding. It is having a big impact, and it's causing, it's making a lot of people not. So originally, I actually saw this on a podcast the other day. Originally, classic physique was there to draw more people in, but it's not really, because it's just making people that were going to do bodybuilding do classic physique because they're smaller and they think they'll suit it better or whatever, be more competitive. So that's impacted things, but I wouldn't say it's for a bad thing. I love that class. I love both of those classes. The females is obviously it's evolved a lot, especially like bikini, more muscular, harder. I like the direction it's gone in personally. Like I think it's got better. I think it's got less attainable, which is what I'm all for. I don't think I'm not for that like attainable look, because it's not meant to be. It's like we put in work. Why would we put in work to be attainable? So if you look back 10 years ago at bikini, like even in New Zealand, like the bikini class, the first year bikini took off in New Zealand was 2012, and that was when men's physique got introduced.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was Auckland Champs was the first big show, and a lot of the girls that competed were actually training out of the gym I was working at, Mo's gym, on the weekends, and I was there on the weekends. So a lot of them just look like, honestly, they just look like you've gone to Mission Bay and got a bunch of girls in decent shape, put them on stage.
Yeah.
Whereas now they've got capped outs.
Yeah.
Glutes,
tired. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was rare back then. Rare, very rare. So yeah, it's definitely evolved in a positive way in that way. But yeah, like I said, the guys, I feel like it's gone backwards, but not crazily. It's just I think the 10 years ago I preferred the looks and whatnot.
I'm with you on that one. On another topic, just throwing this in there, haven't even asked you about this prior, but what are your views on WBFF?
I'll just be honest.
Yep.
I'm not a fan.
Fair. Why not?
Just like can't get my head around guys taking Trent to wear a suit on stage. I can't get my head around it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I just think it's. I see it as, and look, I've prepped people for this federation, so I'm not like, and I don't like each their own. And if this is what gets you going, and this is what gets you, if you love it, like I'm not judging. But it's just like that whole social media thing. I feel like it's all the negatives I see of social media and bodybuilding. I kind of see that in that federation.
Yeah. It's more pageantry, isn't it, than bodybuilding?
Yeah. It's just a pageant, really. And like I said, if it's what floats your boat, it floats your boat. But I'm just not a fan. I don't like the posing. I don't like the. I love bodybuilding. I love raw, ruthless bodybuilding across male, female, whatever. And I don't see that as that. So it's just not my thing. I've got a few clients at the moment who are ex WBF pros, and they're switching. So I think it sounds like that federation is not going in a great direction. Yeah. So
have you heard the latest scandals online?
I heard of the guy passing away, sadly, which was
Rich Henderson. Yeah.
And then I saw there was some other stuff. I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, don't even need to go into it.
Something about editing the guy, something like that. Yeah, I didn't watch it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's just a hot topic, so I thought I'd just touch on it anyway. But I'm with you on that as well. I just don't get the posing. How can you actually pick the right glutes if they're all flicking? Like you just can't. You can't judge it. And then the winners always have like 1 million followers, and it's always really weird. I just feel like there's a little bit too much with it, but I'm all IFBB all day, and I always will be. I'll never change, promise, guys. Let's move into a different topic. Well, kind of a different topic. It's still coaching. You're because obviously I've heard a lot about you before I met you. I've actually never met you. We've never met. I might have seen you in person maybe twice, but I've never actually spoken to you in person. This is the first time we've talked. And I've heard so much about you in all kinds of ways, like great stuff, some fucking weird shit, who knows. Yeah, I claim it all. But like, you're a controversial coach. Like, some people don't like you being a hard coach, and then they get all sad about that, or whatever it might be. But like, you are you speak your mind, you're outspoken, you're pretty blunt, which I like as in a person, but some people don't. Like, what do you think about having that kind of a reputation of being a little bit controversial to some people?
I love it because it means I'm attracting people that I want to align with.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be the most popular guy, but I am here to help people who want to be helped, or help people like the way I act the way I do, because I'm passionate about, one, bodybuilding, but two, helping people, and helping people in more ways than just improving their physique. The amount of people I helped over the years who have been like, this has changed my life. Like, I think different, I act different, blah, blah, blah. It's all because of that. Like, I don't want to let people buy into their own bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many people go through life putting themselves in situations or surrounding themselves by people who are just going to let them constantly buy into their own shit. And that doesn't elevate you. It doesn't. It might for like 2 minutes give you this feel good feeling, but you deep down, it's not going to help you achieve things. And, I want to help people achieve things. And part of the reason is I've done it. So I know how it feels, and I want people to feel that feeling. And look, people will take that as, oh, you're an asshole. I'm sorry that you kept cheating on your prep, and I told you that this is bullshit. This isn't going to work. You're not going to achieve what you've told me you want to achieve. You've paid me money to prep you. You've paid me money to help you go pro. You wanted to go pro. Well, this is what we need to do. And if you're not willing to do it, it's not going to happen. I'm not magic. I don't have a fucking wand. So, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if I'm prepping you and you're on stage, you represent me. No one knows that you cheat on your diet every Saturday. No one knows that you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot that, goes into it behind the scenes, but a lot of it as well. Like, I grew up playing sports, right? And, if you're playing sports and you're not performing, or you're being lazy, or even if you're just making mistakes, your coach lets you know. Like, holy shit, they will let you know. Like, you will get fucking screamed at in front of everyone. And this was normal. But then in bodybuilding, it's like, oh, you're not doing anything. Yeah, it's okay. Have a pat on the back. You're doing your best. You're not doing your fucking best. You're doing people don't realize how much potential they have. Like,
that's it.
So much of it just like, you'll never know until you actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it, when you fully go all in on anything, not just bodybuilding, anything, the amount you grow up here, like, fuck, you take that with you everywhere you go. Like, you take that with you. If it wasn't for bodybuilding, my life would be fucked, because it's taught me so much. It's taught me how to handle fucked up situations. It's taught me how to have structure. I see where people come from. And look, my way of coaching is not for everyone, and I'm the first to admit that. And I don't just because I've worked with someone that hasn't worked out, I'm not going to think, oh, you're a dickhead. It is what it is. It's not meant to be for everyone, and that's why there's different coaches with different ways of doing things, different methods. This is just my way. And at the same time, I have this reputation that I'm so hard. I'm actually not. It's just what I need to be. A lot of my clients are like, why have I never seen the side of you? I'm like, you haven't given me a reason to.
You don't need
you've just followed the plan and worked hard. I don't need to. But if I ever do need to, I will. I'm just not afraid to speak my mind. And like, I don't like having those conversations with people. I've had to have that conversation with a few people in the last few weeks who have not been, doing what they're meant to do. And like, I kind of had to like build myself up to do it, because I was like, oh, it's not fun. It's not fun being like, hey, I know you're not following the plan. Well, why? Because you're not responding, and because you've told this person and they've told me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not enjoyable, but it's just coaching. Like, coaching's not just about the diet and the training. It's also about getting the best out of people.
Yeah.
And finding what gets the best out of one person might be different to another person. But hope that answers.
Yeah, it does. You can't you're right. You have to push people. People ask you to push them, and then when they get pushed, sometimes they get, and just sometimes people out there, just so everybody knows, you might look at an athlete and then you immediately think the coach, you go to the coach, oh, the physique's not right, the coach, you immediately think that coach is fucked up, the posing's wrong, who's their posing coach, that's immediately what we think. And athletes go around and they talk a lot of shit as well. So everything needs to be taken with a grain, because it can happen to, like, people would fuck up their plan, like you said, and then they'll go around talking shit on their coach like they couldn't do a good enough job because they can't take the blame. They can't. No, I'm perfect. It's not me. So just be careful out there. Like when you're listening to people talk, like it might not be true. Take everything with a grain. It's just, it is what it is. It's New Zealand, but people talk so much shit here. So just stay in your lane.
I'll say the same about if they do cheat. It's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their, I didn't do it. Yeah,
because you, like, you know what I mean. So
you're pushing me too hard or whatever it was. Yeah, there's always something. Yeah, so watch out for those people that always have excuses. They're always going to be that kind of person, I guess. Like, and some people aren't made for bodybuilding, but they try. And you're not made for bodybuilding, so choose another sport. Go to ICN, do something different. Like IFBBs, you're all in or you're not. And it's embarrassing to see people not go all in. Like, you've got to fucking push yourself or don't even bother. It's like
bodybuilding. It's a fucking
don't bring our standard down because you can't be fucked doing it. You know what I mean? Just to be brutal. Like, here's me telling you you're controversial and I'm the one talking shit.
I'm saying way worse things.
I need to calm down if I too much coffee. Can we talk about PEDs? Couple of things here. I've actually heard just recently from a couple of our shows that we've had, the girls talking a little bit of smack about how, oh, you should be on PEDs even if you're in bikini. Why aren't you on PEDs? Because everybody else is. This kind of shit's being talked around within the athlete. So I get a whiff of everything, man. And so I'm like, this isn't good. Why are the girls and like backstage saying, you should be doing PEDs to be competing these days? Like, you don't need to. There's fucking, look at Shay for one. But what are your thoughts on PEDs? Do bikini girls need it? Is this like actually something that needs to be done? Or like, talk to me about it a little bit. Like, dive in as deep as you want to go into that.
Well, it's relative. Firstly, it's relative. It's relative to the. If are we talking strictly bikini here?
Yeah. Let's start with bikini and then we'll just fucking.
So it's relative to the person. It's relative to their goals, and it's relative to where they're at in their journey. I'm not going to sit here and say bikini girls don't take PEDs because they 100% do.
Yeah.
But there's levels to it. Like if we're talking pro bikini or we're talking amateur bikini, that's two separate topics.
Yeah, that's two different things. Yeah, amateur maybe to start.
Some girls can go pro naturally and do very well naturally.
Yeah.
Some girls can't. Why? Because bodybuilding is not fair and genetics matter. So to answer that, no one should be going around saying you should be on gear, because that's that's a very stupid thing to say, because a lot of, like, if that people don't know what they're talking about, that can make people just go. I've seen some people do some stupid shit, some real stupid shit. And if you don't have that good, if you don't have at least decent guidance, like, it can go really wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, people use stuff for sure. But this is the other thing. Like, it's PEDs just falls under one thing, but there's so much in that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different things that people can do, and there's some things that you wouldn't dream of doing. And there's other, so a little things here and there. Yeah, it's common. But taking the whole kitchen sink is not.
Yeah.
And at the amateur level, it's not something I would ever recommend. Unless someone had you've got to build a base first. You got to have a physique on you before you try and enhance it, because otherwise you're just going to build a physique that's been built on drugs, and you can't. Generally, if a physique's just been built on drugs, as soon as you stop taking that, you just turn to shit. So it shouldn't. And at the same time, if you're talking bikini, like, the amount that they're using is so low, so little. Well, it should be. I've heard things that that don't align with that, but generally speaking, most people I know, the amount is so little that it's not really. It doesn't do that much. It might just give them a bit of hardness and dry them out a bit. So, yeah, it's not. I think if you were to do a poll and everyone was to be honest, for like New Zealand bikini competitors, I would say a big majority would be natural. Maybe a few fat burners thrown in here and there, just from what I've heard from people and just from who I know. But I would say, like, if you're talking like steroids, it's probably pretty. Yeah. There's definitely people using them, but it's not. It's a minority, I would say.
Yeah, it's not like across the board. Everyone's.
But then in the pros, it would be majority of them would use it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone. Like, I know there's pros who, like, don't jump down my throat. I'm just being honest. Just trying to be honest.
Yeah. And that's just where it's going. Like we spoke about earlier about how far bikinis come over 10 years. You know, it's not you just shred and then you get on stage. Like you've got to have fucking muscle on you. Then you've got to get lean enough to show the muscle without losing too much of the muscle. Yeah. So there's
the hormones, and you've got to do all sorts of shit. No,
so many things, right? What about the guys though? Because I don't know a lot about the guys, obviously, but do you think there's a lot of guys taking too many different things and they should just chill the fuck out? Like you must get people come to you from maybe somewhere else and they've been doing different things, or like, what are your thoughts on the males? Like, what are the males up to these days? Are they doing too much or doing enough? What does that mean?
Majority of guys are using shit.
Yeah.
It's very rare you get a client that's natural or that wants to be natural, that's competing. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's rare.
Yeah.
Everyone says that people use too much stuff, but if I think about people I work with or have worked with, majority of them, not really. Like they maybe have done things not quite right, but they weren't like abusing by any means. Cool. The biggest mistakes I see is with non-competitors. Sometimes I get like a lifestyle client, and I'm like, bro, like why are you they're running like a comp stack, and I'm like, fuck, you've got no muscle, and you're taking all this trend and all that, like where's it going?
Yeah.
And it's just like, why are you doing that? It's just so dumb. Like you could just do things a bit better and not take any of that and look better. So that's where I see the biggest thing. I'm sure there's guys pumping themselves full of shit, but I can't say I've had conversations with anyone recently who has been doing something I would be like, whoa. I mean, there's definitely people pushing a bit harder than others, but yeah, no, I mean, in recent, like back in the day, maybe, but it's not now. No, it's maybe I'm just not having. I don't really talk about it that much, to be honest with people. Yeah. I find it boring. I'd rather talk about training and stuff. So I only kind of know what my clients do because I don't really talk to anyone else about it unless someone brings it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I guess people are getting
people are from what I'm seeing, people aren't being crazy. But again, I might just not be having the right conversations.
Yeah. Or you've just got the right people in your circle.
Yeah, all that.
Let's talk about wellness. Okay, I love wellness. I think it's so good that we've finally got wellness. It's a new division for anyone who doesn't know. 2021, I think, was the first Olympia with wellness. We've only got a couple of pro athletes in wellness as well in New Zealand. So what do you think about the wellness division? You've got who's your is it South American client? She's wellness. She's fucking incredible. What's her name?
I've got a few. Do you mean the one? So Kathy is South America. She turned pro last year.
Oh, she's the Kiwi. She's in New Zealand though, right?
She's in New Zealand. Yeah. I've got a few. I've got 4 of them in Chile at the moment. Oh, two are competing. One's competing in 9 weeks. One's competing in 12 weeks. 2 of them are competing in 12 weeks, and the other 2 are growing for next year. But yeah, they're different.
Amazing, incredible.
The level of work and commitment there is on a whole different level to New Zealand. A whole different level. The way they train, how passionate they are. It's quite refreshing, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. And I can see what, like, everyone goes, oh, genetics, well, of course, but I see how they send me their training videos. Like, the effort they put in is just like, it gives you chills when you watch it.
That's so cool, man. I love that, to have those people grinding and your team, hopefully they just like keep pushing the team too. But like, what do you think about wellness? Do you like it? Is it a good division? What do you think we need in New Zealand to like?
Wellness is probably my favorite class to coach.
Yeah, really?
I love it because you can get real crazy with the leg training.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm most passionate. Like I love, like coming up, I was obsessed with training legs. So it's just something I always love. And with bikini, a lot of the time you've got to hold back because you don't want them to get too big. And it's like, cool, it's just kind of like bikini, but we can get fucking freaky with it.
Yeah.
So I like coaching all classes for different reasons, but I do really, really love coaching wellness. In terms of New Zealand, we've got solid some solid athletes, but it's just about taking that next step, getting to the next level. And the thing with New Zealand bodybuilding is, this goes for all the classes. Not everyone, but a lot of them will get to a certain point and kind of just stop.
Yeah,
they'll get their pro card and they'll just stop, and then they'll never get better. They'll never compete. It's like they don't take that next jump. And why is that? Who knows? Maybe it's just because they reach the top here, and you know what I mean? Whereas in other countries like the US, the top is so much higher. So they're constantly trying to get better and better and better. And they just do it for longer at that intensity, at that level. But yeah, in terms of in terms of moving forward in New Zealand, I guess it comes down to conditioning. Like pro level conditioning is something we really see here in that class. Like the wellness does need to be very, very lean. Not many girls in New Zealand have a pro level lower body in wellness.
Yeah.
There's a few maybe, but majority won't. But I mean, the pro level wellness is fucking
It's
absurd,
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
this is not like everyone sucks. No, the ceiling is so high.
It's
like
fucked.
the amount of muscle in their legs is just crazy.
Yeah.
So, and it's just time for some of these girls. Like everyone wants it now, but
yeah,
you don't build that
mm-hmm.
in a year. Like that's years and years and years of squatting and leg pressing and lunging and all the horrible shit and doing it in the hardest way. It's just years and years and years of that, and that's how you do it. So I think it's just time. It's just time and continue to do the right things and being consistent with it. Consistency is everything. So you're not going to reach that level without being consistent. It sounds dumb because it's like duh, but it's just so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the potential's here. The potential's here, but it's just about doing what's needed to be done to,
take it to the next level kind of thing. And like you said, the pro level here is like you're the best in New Zealand, but now you're the bottom of the world kind of thing, because you've got to fucking keep going up every time. Go to Aussie, it's even better. Go to America, it's fucking out of this world. So it's like they'd need to keep working. But
America's like when I went to Vegas this year, I was training the Dragons Lair, and like honest to God, like you'd just be training and you're like, what the fuck is that? These girls don't even compete and they look nuts.
Oh my God.
It's just crazy. So it's just like you're surrounded by it. So you can see why people, push the way they do, because it's like, you just kind of like, fuck, do I even lift?
Yeah. You're making me feel
small. Yeah.
What was the Dragons Lair like? Because I really want to go there one day.
So good. I loved it. Best gym. It was so good. It was definitely my favorite gym in the US that I've been to.
Really? Wow.
Easily. Like it was so just the environment, the equipment. I'm not like a big equipment guy. Like I can work with most things, but the equipment was next level. But the environment was great too. So I can't wait to go back. I'll probably go back next year. To be honest, I love that place.
Yeah. Would you leave New Zealand?
I would love to live in America, 100%, but it's just so hard. I am looking at possibly, because you're allowed to go for 3 months, because I work online. Like I went there twice this year and I worked both times, so it was fine. So I'm thinking about going for like an extended amount of time, like maybe for like 10 weeks. Nice. Just seeing how it goes. That's not in stone. It's just a thought, but it's something I would like to do because I just like it there, and it's just so different to what we're used to. So we'll see what happens in terms of leaving New Zealand. I don't know. I always said no, but as I've been older, I'm kind of like maybe.
Maybe. Or do like half or fuck whatever, I don't know. But we need you to leave, man. We need you. We need these good coaches.
I wouldn't leave like leave. It would be I would leave, but I would have to come back, family and stuff. So
your flexibility, you're online, you're sweet.
Exactly.
So a question that I asked you a little bit earlier, but I'm going to ask you again, of course. Will we be seeing you compete again sometime soon, do you think?
Everyone's asking me. I'm definitely not done as far as competing goes. I thought I was. I honestly thought I was last year, but that was just because I had so much on my plate, and it just kind of like it just changed my perspective on things. But for sure, by next year, I'll be on stage, 100%.
Yeah, boy, walking the walk. That's how it's done. What division do you do, just for people who don't know?
So I always did bodybuilding.
Yeah,
open bodybuilding. The last time I was on stage I did classic.
Nice.
And then I prepped in 2000. That was in 2020, so it's been a while.
Wow.
And then 2021, I was prepping for classic again, but the lockdowns happened. And the shows got all pushed back, and the shows ended up being in December, but we didn't know what was happening, so I just pulled the pin, and I was like, I don't want to. It was more for if I'm being completely transparent, it was just more for health reasons. I didn't want to keep pushing. I just talked about male bodybuilding. I don't want to keep doing that if, one, there was no guarantee of shows were going to be on, and two, I didn't know how long I was going to have to do it for. So I was just like, there's going to be more shows, more opportunities. So that's kind of why I have to at some point do another one, because I'm like, I was really happy with how I was the last prep I did, I hated the look. It was the COVID year, and we had 2 lockdowns during prep, and I just competed because I had a lot of shit going on in my life, and I was determined to make it. I was like, I'm not going to let this stop me. That was what I was. I was like, I'm going to show you, fuck this, I can do it, But the look on stage, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't something I don't post about it. Put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough. Because I said to you before, and I've talked to a couple of people. They're like, Jordan's getting on stage. He's cutting. His face is cutting in. But you're cutting right now, right? Are you cutting or are you building?
I have been dieting. I do like to diet while. This is really weird, but I've done it a few times. I kind of like to diet, not like a comp diet, but I do like to diet while I'm doing while I've got a lot of clients competing, because it kind of, in a weird way, puts me in the mindset that they're in.
Yeah, nice.
So I can relate to it. It's weird, but it helps. So I don't really have many cheat meals and all that kind of stuff. So it's more just, it's not extreme by any means, but it's that's what I'm doing. So
dieting a little bit.
It'll set me up. It'll set me up for after. So
yeah, true. You'll be ready to go. You'll be sweet.
For sure.
How many shows have you done in your whole life? Do you know how many you've done?
Good question. I can count real quick. 2000. So I usually used to do year on year off. So I did 2011. I did one. 13. I did one. 15. I did one. 16. I did two. 18. I did two. I've done 9.
Oh wow! Was there any favorites amongst all those?
2018 was the best show. It was my best look. I won. I did never WFF. I won nationals.
Wow.
So I won Miss New Zealand, and it was. My mum got diagnosed with breast cancer 2 days out from regionals, so it was fucked up. Regionals was 4 weeks out from nationals, so it was real fucked up. So I was trying to peak, and we got this news, and I was like, because she had just got rid of about a year before that, she got rid of the original cancer she had, and then this was unrelated, and I was like, what the fuck?
God.
So she was like, you're not pulling out, and I was like, oh, fuck the show, I don't even care about the show now. And she's like, no, you better not. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I did it, and it was the worst show experience I've ever had. It was horrible. We weren't on stage till 7 o'clock at night. We were meant to be on stage at 1. It was so poorly run. The venue was shit. The lighting was shit. I nearly didn't go on stage. I was like, you know what? I didn't want to be here. Why did I go through all this? I didn't want to be here. And then I got real sick as well. I was in Wellington, and I had changed my flights to 2 more days. I couldn't get out of bed. I rang the hospital. I was like, I couldn't. I was spewing. I don't know what it was. I found out there was a bug going around at the show, which I wasn't aware of. But it was horrible. And then I was like, yeah, I'm done. Fuck it. Yeah. And then I got back into Auckland, and then I think on the Tuesday I was like, fuck, it's 4 more weeks. I can do this. And I did it. And then won, and it was cool. I did a routine for Mum, and she came on stage, and it was cool because I actually lost regionals.
Oh wow!
And then beat the guy at nationals. So it was I was determined. I knew I could do it, but I was like, it's one of those things, he beat me. So I was like, I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try. Yeah. So it was like a story. It was cool. But that was definitely my best experience on stage that I can recall. It was actually my best and my worst in the same year.
Yeah, my God, with comps, each one of each.
And I'd say the best run show I've done would be the 2020 IFBB Nationals that I did. It wasn't my best look. I wasn't happy with it, but in terms of the show, it was one of those shows where every class was on time. It's very rare that happens. Every class was on time. Everything was smooth. The venue was at Bruce Mason Theatre, the best venue. That's the best venue. It's so good. The best lighting. It was just really good. So, yeah, there's been a few standouts for sure.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I love that. What do you think about venues that we have? Where do you think nationals should be if you could pick a place for it?
Bruce Mason for sure.
Yeah,
I love Bruce Mason, or they used to have quite a few at Sky City. But I mean, people complain about venues and stuff, and what they don't understand is the cost money.
100%.
For them to give a pro card, I think it's $5,000 per class. Yeah. It might be 8. It's either 5 or 8. I can't remember. Per class. How many classes are there? You know what I mean? So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And then for them to then go and that's why people go, it costs $400, $300. It's it's a pro qualifier.
It does, yeah.
It's a lot of money. And then they've got to pay for the venue. And so you can understand it. Understand it. But if I had my choice, for sure, Bruce Mason Theatre is I love that place. So it's got good backstage. The lighting's amazing. Have you been there?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, so when you're on stage, I remember I actually felt a little overwhelmed. We were there for the briefing, and I looked up, and I just see all these red seats, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is like a theater!"
Yeah, it's like a theater. Yeah.
So that would be my choice if I could.
Yeah. The venue's okay that we have at the moment. Like, it's all right. It's not bad. You know, we fit everyone in there. It's all good. And you're so right. Mo does such a fucking good job. And he's carried the whole IFBB through like COVID, all the shit, you know, and he spends all of his money, all of his time on it. And you even have to pay to judge. People don't know that, like, you got to pay to judge shows. Like, it's $1,000 each for a judge. Like, it's fucked. How much
the venue where Nationals is, although it's at a school, the lighting's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest thing. So sometimes you get these venues and the lighting's everything, because you need good lighting or you're not going to look good. So for me as an athlete, my biggest concern is the lighting good?
And the flooring.
That lighting is fine. Like, it doesn't wash you out. So I don't have issues with that venue.
Yeah.
And it's also big, so a lot of people, if you have big, no one gets. I've done shows, when I did Sky City Show in 2013. They sold out and people couldn't come in. That would suck. Your family can't come. So for me, it's like, can everyone get in, and can we have good lighting and do decent backstage, and we're good.
Get all your family and friends to go buy tickets if you want it to be a better venue. Like, pump the money back into the sport, and then it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen. Who knows?
Gotta give back.
Yeah. Who are your favorite athletes of all time? Let's go international, and then let's go just like New Zealand as well.
All time.
Yeah, all time, male and female.
So my favorite bodybuilder of all time would be Jay Cutler, hands down. Not for his physique. I mean, he's huge, but he was like my reason for starting bodybuilding, and everything he did away from the sport in terms of business and stuff is just inspirational to me. So it would be Jay Cutler. In terms of females, probably if I had to pick an all-time female, it'd be Dana Lynn Bailey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Dana Lynn Bailey. Not so much now. I don't really follow her stuff anymore, if I'm honest, but I used to a lot. So she'd probably, if I had to pick a female, it'd be her. Recent female, I like Missy. Do you know Missy Truscott? She does fitness. She does fitness, but she's so jacked. So she does all the figure poses. She's cool. And then if I had to pick like a new age bodybuilder, you have to go C-bomb, eh? Like, but to be different, if I was to pick open guys, my favorite guys are not like the best. They're not the best bodybuilders. I just like them as people. Like, how they come across. I would say a guy called James Hollinshed, Nathan Diasher. They're both from the UK. Love the UK guys. And, if I was to pick like based on physiques, Andrew Jack, who just won the Texas Pro. He looks nutty. So, yeah. Nice.
I like it. What about Kiwis?
In terms of Kiwis, this is a hard one because I've got to there's been so many over the years. My favorite Kiwi bodybuilder, he wouldn't be the best that's competed, but just in terms of how he's always been with me, how he's helped me a lot with things, especially with posing over the years, and he's just always been real supportive, would be a guy called Sam Muhammad. A lot of people won't know who he is. He turned pro in 2000 and I don't even know, 14, 15. He doesn't compete anymore, but he was always really he was really nice to me. He still is now, supportive. He messages me every so often. He'll send me like a 5-minute WhatsApp voice message out of the blue. But yeah, if I ever had a question, he wouldn't hesitate to answer. So he would be my favorite. And he always came across super professional too, I thought. Like, he always handled himself quite well. Like a professional, even before he was a professional. And he was in an era when it was when New Zealand bodybuilding started to take off, 2012-ish, 2013, when like I said, when everything started to pick up. That's when men's physique and stuff came out, and he was like one of the top front runners for the pro cards back then. And a lot of people looked up to him. So there's a bit of history. It was kind of like a, holy shit, look who it is, and it kind of just stayed that way. But yeah, he would be. I love that. I would probably have to say him.
Yeah, nice. Let's talk about posing real quick. Different, obviously, in every division and whatever. But what is to you, and like what do you say to your athletes in terms of the importance of posing? Like, do you send them off to posing coaches? Like, is that what you do? And what do you tell them? What do you drill into them about posing and how important it is?
I set them up for sure. Some of them are already set up though. So if they've already got a posing coach and I'm okay with them, I'll just leave them to it. But for me as a coach, it's not so much. I kind of let them leave that to the posing coach. But if I'm seeing mistakes, I'm going to tell them, okay, you need to practice more because you're hitting this wrong every single time.
Yeah.
Or I'll talk to the coach and be like, hey, like I messaged one the other day and I was like, hey, I just sent the back shot and I was like, is this how you're telling her to pose? Because I'm just making sure I don't want to say anything and she's like, no, I want to do this. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what I was going to say. So I'm glad we're on the same page. I'll start drilling it in. So I try and work with them, not try and just, give my 2 cents. And, so I have them all set up for sure. 100%. They have to. Like you have the best physique, but if you can't present it, and at the same time, you can only present so much. So if you don't do the work, you're going to have nothing to present. So it all goes together.
Yeah.
But I have all my athletes with posing coaches, and I'm actually going to start doing posing for the men's classes, but not this year. Not this year. I'm going to start doing that myself as well. I get asked quite a bit, but I've never put anything together. But it's very important, and I believe everyone should pose every single day coming into a show. And it doesn't have to be for that long. It depends on the level. And it depends on the class, because a bikini girl needs to know how to get into her shot, hold her shot. Is she standing right? It's not that strenuous though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas a guy is fucking flexing every muscle in his body, like a bodybuilder is flexing every muscle in his body. It's more than just knowing how to hit the shot. It's hitting it and being able to continue hitting it. And what happens when you're on stage and it's hot and they go for like 5 rounds? I think when you had Frank on, that's what he said. Yeah. After he was like, I forgot how hard it is. And it's like, there's never been a show where I've done it and I've been like, fuck. I've always been like, I should have practiced more. You know what I mean? It's it's not even about not knowing how to pose. It's just the fitness. Yeah. So it's different for different classes. Like guys should be practicing half an hour a day.
Yeah.
At least. And most girls as well, because no one's perfect at posing. No one. You can be a great poser, but I'm sure there's still things that could be better or, become second nature, and especially if you're new to it. So everyone, posing is so important, and it's very important I think as a coach, it's good to have relationships with specific coaches. So it's not too spread out and you kind of know what. I mean, I've got clients as well though. Like I've got a few girls who have been working with posing coaches from overseas. I've never heard of them before, but I'm like, fuck, your posing is really good. So it's working.
Yeah.
So, but majority is like, who they're, the person you're working with, and yeah.
What do you think of, obviously, Rhiannon? She's my posing coach. She's amazing. In my opinion, I think she's fucking top notch. And she's a client of yours again as well. What do you think about her posing? Do you think is she one of the people that you send your like bikini and wellness girls to? Like how does that relationship work? You guys work well together?
She poses majority of my girls.
Yeah.
She's very good, very good, very good. Very, very, what I like about her, she's very professional. And she does a lot of, I didn't know this, but she does a lot of she does a lot more than she should for what she's charging. Yeah. So all those videos you girls send her, you guys all send your check-ins, and she'll like critique. She sends the fucking lines and
as many as we want. It's crazy.
That's above and beyond for posing, because generally what posing coaching will be is you do your half an hour on Skype and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's a good service. And yeah, like everyone I've sent for posing with her is pose well. So that's why I continue to send them to her. They get their sessions, they learn, they get better, they present well. And so I can't say anything bad, to be honest.
Yeah, she's amazing. Good on you, Ree. Put up your prices, babe, next year, because you're way too cheap.
I told her that already. I said I told her ages ago, actually.
Yeah, so she needs to put them up, girl. What are you doing? Like Renee Gardner's $150 an hour. Like she's fucking way too cheap, and she does too much. Yeah, she does a lot of work in the middle, but we appreciate her. She's making us look good. She's helping the caliber get up there. So, I mean, yeah, she does her work for the pro that she.
I think it's very similar to what I said before about the passion. Like
you can see it.
Something, and I think any good coaches, that's their foundation of what they do, is just passion for what they're doing.
Yeah, drives you away.
Sure.
What's your training like at the moment? Are you doing a split? Are you building certain areas of your body? What are you doing in your training?
Well, my training is very much centered upon front to back thickness. So my split is, I do chest. So it's an 8-day rotation. It's not like Monday, this, Tuesday. So I go chest, which is like a higher volume. I have 2 chest days. So one's high volume and one's heavier. Gotcha. So I go chest, and then I go back width, and then I go legs, and then I go off, and I go chest, and then I go back thickness, and then I go shoulders, and then I go off. And then I have like biceps with back and triceps with chest kind of thing, and calves with legs and calves with shoulders. So yeah, 8-day rotation. It's basically my strong points is my legs and my arms, and my weak point is my chest, and my back is kind of becoming a strong point. Say it kind of is, but it can never be too good. So that's why the priority is there. It's working well. I enjoy it. I definitely prefer I think I prefer like a Monday this, Tuesday that, just because it's just easy to get around. You just know, like, but I wanted to give it a try, and I'm liking it. I like to try different splits because it means, you know, like the more I try, the more I have experience I have with. So when I advise clients, like I have clients on similar splits. Even I have a wellness girl at the moment, one in Chile. I just sent her a program, and I think it was like she got very dominant shoulders, and wellness. Shoulders are very important for wellness, but they're very dominant, and her quads are a little bit under muscled. So I can't remember exactly, but it was like quads, hamstrings, shoulders off, quad, hamstrings, back off. So it's not, you know what I mean? So so it's very similar like methodology, but different.
Yeah, I like it. That's quite fun. I like it. What's your favorite move for legs? If your leg day and you're like, I'm stoked, squats are in there, or like
squats,
your favorite
squats are the king. Squats are the king. Squats are the king. A form of squats. I either do barbell or Smith squats for me, and that's pretty much what I program. I just think there's so much from those two movements. There's different ways of doing it: heel elevated, flat feet, wider stance, close stance, blah blah blah. But depending on what your goal is from the movement, those two are the kings.
Yeah, I'm with them too. The
people
don't
you do them a lot. I see you do squatting all the time.
Yeah, people don't be squatting, man. People need to be squatting. Get it in there.
People go like, "Oh, it makes my waist grow." Fuck no.
Deadlifts make your waist grow, babe. Yeah, cut it out. Don't fucking lie to me. Do your squats. You're just being a puss. What about growing glutes? Like if someone came to you and they were quite underdeveloped, in glutes, what would you be like? You need to fucking do this, this, and this, like your top 2 or 3 exercises for glutes.
So it would depend on what's dominant on them, but generally my go-to for glutes would be Bulgarian split squat number 1. I'm a huge fan of them. Like, I think they're so underrated. At deep squats. Generally, for most females, I put them in a Smith machine, but it's because they can like line themselves up. They can keep their hips down. They not let the hips shoot back. A lot of people have the habit of kicking the hips back. That way we can load the glutes better, get deeper. And third would be like a hip thrust or an RDL. I love RDLs and stiff legs, but I do find them also they're very hamstring dominant too. Like you hit your glutes, you also had a lot of hamstrings, or a hip thrust is more just glutes. So they would be my. You said 3, but I gave you 4. They'd be my 4. And then I add a little bit of isolation and whatnot. And then when it comes to glutes as well, it's like volume and like frequency. Most girls, I'll have them like running probably like 2 days a week of like proper glutes, or quads and glutes, hams and glutes, and then a third day would be like a top up. With maybe like a posterior day or something along those lines.
Nice. There you go, guys. If you want to train with Jordan, that's what you're getting your glutes obliterated by the sounds of it, but it'll be fun. I'm sure.
Promise.
Promise. If you haven't seen his girl's glutes, you fucking need to go see him. And another one of your clients I love is Madison Dobie. Is that how you say that?
Yeah. She's another first timer. She's done so well.
I'm like, thank God she's competing down south, so I don't have to deal with that just yet. I can just wait till nationals. I'll just deal with Tui for now.
She's next weekend,
Is it next weekend? Yeah. Well, sorry, Wellington. Yeah. Somewhere down there with all the other crazy people that are coming out of the woodwork.
It's gonna be that Wellington shows. I think it's gonna be real competitive.
Same. I reckon it's gonna be.
From who I've seen that's doing it. No, I'm not talking about my clients. Just in general. I'm like,
just in general, yeah.
Show's gonna be. I think this is the hard one to do.
Yeah, I reckon it might be that in Wellington. So that in Waikato, because always Waikato.
Waikato as well. Yeah. Waikato goes without saying because it's 2 weeks.
Of course, it's just normal, isn't it? Are you going down for Wellington?
I'm not sure yet. We might have an auction that day.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm not 100% yet, but
hopefully someone will be there. I think Amy Jacobs is gonna get a little bit of action for me from what goes on, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Wellington coming up soon, South Island first. What about your nutrition? You said you're cutting. What does your diet look like? Are you eating? Do you still eat quite a lot when you're cutting? You probably do, but like
I go through phases. So like I'm working with a coach as well.
Oh, nice.
Has the way he does it very similar to how I do it, which is cool. So we go through phases. We have phases where it's like we go quite low and then we bring it back up, then we go low again, bring it back up, it's kind of just like thing. And then I get to a point where my metabolism just gets real fast, and then we just kind of start pushing the food back up. And you don't feel like you are because your metabolism's burning through everything, but that's generally what happens. But I think we'll probably start to slow things down a touch now because, yeah, we've been going for a while.
It's working. It's working. Something's happening. Nice. Sounds good. It sounds like you're right on the pulse. What about some tips for amateur and rookies, being myself, and you've got a whole bunch of them, and we're all getting down into our last 5 weeks now. Is there any kind of advice for first timers around that? They start getting nervous, they might fuck their diet up, like any ways to stay on track for those kinds of people?
Yeah, so a lot of it just comes down to mindset. Remember, you're doing a competition. Every time you don't do something you're meant to do, you're giving someone else an opportunity to beat you. If you start cheating on your diet when you stand on stage, you're going to know you did that, so you're going to know you didn't do everything you could have. Don't let the fact that it's your first time, don't let that be a reason to not give your all, because it's not a valid excuse. You're doing it just like everyone else is. You might not have experience, but it doesn't mean you can't try your best. My hardest prep was my first one. Killed me. My nutritionist killed me, but I did it. I learned a lot from it. So it kind of taught me that bodybuilding's fucking hard, and every time I do a prep, it's going to be fucking hard. So set your sights high, but at the same time, in terms of prep, just listen to your coach. Like, you hired your coach for a reason. You could pick any coach in the world. You picked the one you picked. So listen to them. Take their advice. Something that gets real annoying is like, first time I was always on about, I don't feel lean. And I get it. I've been there. But like, you don't know how lean you're meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know you've never done it. So you don't know how lean you're meant to be 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
And why are you comparing yourself to this person? Because it's not you, and you don't know how your coach might have a plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get to your show and you're like, I wasn't in shape, then have the why the fuck wasn't I in shape? I'm going to change coaches, or was it me? Was I the problem? You know what I mean? Evaluate it then. But until then, just follow the process. Train as hard as you possibly can. If you're wanting to hold your muscle and not get stringy and not get skinny, you have to keep training hard. As soon as you start letting the weights get light and leaving reps on the tank, that's when your body will run away from you, and you'll go flat, and you'll drop muscle and all that. But if you're training really hard, you're giving your body a reason to hold on to it. So honestly, just work hard. It just sounds so meathead, but work hard and follow your diet and just trust your coach. And just tick your daily boxes. You know what you're meant to do, and it's not that long. Like, just break it down into weeks. Like, what is it? It's like when's nationals? It's in 6 weeks on Saturday. So on Sunday, it's going to be 5 weeks and 6 days.
Yeah.
And then the following Sunday, it's going to be 4 weeks. It's going to be a new number. So that helps some people.
It's fast.
Yeah. So it's just temporary, and the more you put in, the more rewarding it's going to be after.
Yeah.
Like, the feeling of like how good you feel after, even if you don't win. I've never gone into a show where I haven't wanted to win, but I've always felt amazing after, because I know I've given everything I could, and that's all you can control. So by all means, go in with whatever expectation, but if you truly give everything, you're going to feel amazing after regardless. So don't rob yourself of that feeling by giving into temptation, and just work with your coach, follow their plan, don't question it, just trust them, trust their work, trust what you've seen them do in the past with others, and trust what they've got you this far. So they're gonna get you there.
Yeah. It's exciting. It should be more fun, like get excited
and enjoy it. Like, enjoy it. Of course it's hard, but like, enjoy being shredded, because in 2 months' time you won't be shredded anymore. And enjoy the day as well. Like, you've worked so hard to get there.
Yeah.
Just try and be present, because it goes real quick. And for a lot of the day, you're just lying around chilling, because that's what you need to do. You need to stay calm, but just enjoy yourself. Have fun. Embrace it. Get on stage and be like, you know what? Yeah, I worked my ass off to be here.
I love
I'm
it.
enjoy myself.
Yeah. I love it. There you go, everyone. All of first timers. There's a whole fucking bunch of us this year. I reckon first timers is going to be the biggest class of them all, pretty much. But
we'll do first timers.
Well, I'm going to do. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll ask you. I keep asking everyone because I'm too scared.
I don't know either.
I want to do them all: first timers, novice, and open.
Yeah.
But I reckon I'm being a little confident, and some people think I shouldn't do open because it's too much sometimes. You're posing a lot. You got to think about the day. You're up there on the stage.
I would do open over first timers.
You reckon?
So I'll do novice, and first timers is a new thing. That's like this year. That's but Three classes is a lot, but again, it's for bikini. It's doable because it's not strenuous. Well, it's not overly strenuous.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a guy asking me, I'd be like, no way. Like even doing 2 classes is a big ask for a lot of people. But for you could do 3. Like you're doing multiple shows, right? You're gonna do nationals.
Nationals, yeah, and Waikato.
So you could just do like try it, and if you don't like it, just do 2 at nationals. So see how you feel.
You see,
I understand the want to do first timers open and novice, but it's just it's one of those things. You've worked hard to be there. Just do it. Throw your name out there.
Yeah, why not? And I just thought first timers will be getting the nerves off, the first round on stage, and I might do better because
the only thing is that the thing about first timers is I'm seeing a lot of first timers who don't look like first timers.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you're one of them. Like first timers to me is like how the people I described from
yeah. But like maybe a little bit less conditioned.
These are first timers who have prepped like they've done many preps before, which is great, which is what I want to see.
Yeah.
I love that because they're doing it right. But it's I think people think like first time is gonna be easy, but I'm like, I don't know if it will, because I know some first timers who they're gonna do all right in the open class.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see. Fuck, I've got a little while left. I'll just register the week before. Who knows? What are your thoughts on tall poppy? Do you like have a lot of that? Does it happen around you? What is this? What do you reckon about tall poppy?
It's not something I try not to pay attention to it because it's just one of those things, like it's definitely a thing. Ironically, a lot of the people that talk about tall poppy, I feel like they are tall poppy.
Yeah.
Like honestly. But I see it more in other sports, to be honest. Like a lot of when you see like someone like Israel Adesanya will do something amazing and you'll go in the comment section and like it's like what the fuck, man? Like why are people saying these things? Like this guy's the man. Jealous. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to respect him.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I think he's awesome. I love how he conducts himself and personally. But yeah, I mean it's just one of those things. It's not going anywhere. Focus on your own game. If you're doing anything worthwhile, people are going to talk shit about you. People are going to say this, people are going to say that. It is what it is. It's part of the process. And all you can do is you can either bite back at it and attack it and get upset about it and let it fuck with you, or you can just be like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's to the best of my ability. And that's what I try and do. So yeah.
Block out the noise. It doesn't need to bother you.
Like I said, we've only got so much energy. It's spend that on negative things. And look, sometimes we're all human. Like there's going to be times where we do let it get to us. It's just human nature. Mm-hmm. But we can only try, and try and use that energy for good things. And I actively try and make myself do that, all the time because I'm like, I've got big goals, big expectations of myself. People rely on me, and I want to be my best version. So for that, I need to put my energy in the right places. Not giving
it to the people that don't need it or don't deserve it, I suppose.
People,
so
or even situations, just in general.
I'm with you. Do you have any peak week protocols that you go through with your clients? Now, this is probably like, I don't want to ask all of your little details of what you do with clients, but is there anything that you think, like, because some people might go over the top. Do you think you need to cut out all these fucking sweeteners and flavors and all this shit? Or do you think, or water loading, or is it not as important with first timers than it is with what do you think about peak week? Is there things that should be done and things that should be?
Every peak week for me is specific to the person. So I don't have a set, like I've got clients who I will literally will not change their diet until the show. Like they will just keep the same diet they were on this week into next week and then compete, or they might run that same diet and then I might like up the carbs a bit, reduce the fats or reduce the protein, whatever, on the Friday, manipulate the water a little bit depending on how they look. But it's all just case by case. For me, when I'm coaching, my clients will be updating me every day that last week. Every morning they'll send me an update and I'll be like, okay, same plan, or I might tweak it, send them a new one. And then coming into those last few days, they'll probably be updating me like, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 times, depending on, their class and who they are and what they need. But yeah, I don't really have a set thing. I'll generally increase the water a little bit for most people for last week. I might limit caffeine a bit. For most, I'll generally cut out things like energy drinks and shit like that. But at the same time, if someone looks on the money, I don't just leave it. I'm just like, you look, why change it? I'm not going to change it just because you're supposed to, So for majority of people, I'll cut things out like energy drinks and pre-workouts and whatnot. But sometimes I won't. So it's like I said, it just depends on the situation and the look that they need. And sometimes I've had situations where peak week, I'm actually trying to soften people up because they've gone, their metabolism's just got away from us and we're just constantly adding food. So then it's like, it's a whole different method. So yeah, it's all just person to person.
Yeah, everyone's different, hey? So it just depends on the week. But you just hear things that some people just do across the board and you're like, why do they do that across the board, like with all their clients? So it's good to know that, good coaches do it individually or whatever, make sure it's specific to the person because everyone's fucking looking different in that last week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not just looking different, but bodies responding different.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's important to know, hey. On another topic, probably like a little bit of a deeper topic, how have you managed grief in your life? Because you've obviously gone through that more recently. How did you get through that? And how do you feel now? How's your mental health these days?
That was a tough one. So it was not even just the grief. It was like the whole. So mum was off and on sick for like 6 years. And it was just like constant stress for 6 years of like weird scans all the time, and you're constantly waiting on results, and you just never switch off from it. So it's constantly like these appointments everywhere. During COVID, we'd have a scan. Oh, the scan's being pushed back because COVID people need a fucking scan. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
we're trying to find out if the fucking cancer's spread in her brain, and we can't get it because this guy's got COVID. You know what I mean? Like things like that. So it's just all that, and then
crazy time.
Last year, so it was tough. Like we had probably like the last it was aggressive. Like probably the last 6 months, it was a very big deterioration, and I think the last 2 months it happened real quick. Like everything's like mum was having falls all the time, and it was real fucked up. It was real fucked up, and for me, training and stuff was my outlet. Because it was just something to look forward to, away from, not that it made it any easier, but it was something I could do. But so end of last year, just to give you some context, I think it was like probably the last month things got real bad, and then we had the Christchurch pro qualifier, and I think it was like a month out from nationals or 3 weeks out from nationals, and that's when mum got real bad. And I decided I was going to go to it because I promised people I'd go, and I was like, fuck, it's just one night, I'll be fine. And a few days before, mum had a fall, cracked their head open, and like fucking big black eye. It was. Oh, sorry. Am I still here?
Yeah.
My I just got a call and it turned off. Sorry. Anyway, mum had a big black eye, and it was horrible. So then I had to go to the show, and like I was just like, fuck, this is bad. And mum wasn't all there, and it was tough. Yeah. So I did my best at the show, did what I could, went back the next day, blah blah blah, and it just kind of got worse and worse and worse. And then it got to the point, the last like 2 weeks was mum was just on the couch when it was 7. She'd be in and out of consciousness, could hardly talk, I was spoon feeding her. Yeah, my phone's blowing up from clients like, what do I eat,
Okay.
Well, I had one client, like people knew this, and I had one client, I want to say this because like I haven't really spoken about this much.
Yeah.
I had one client where mum was real bad, and she's like, hey, can I call you? She probably watched this. Can I call you? I'm just struggling a bit at the moment. She meant struggling post-show. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. I was like, I'm struggling too. No, I can't call you. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not bodybuilders think everything revolves around them. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So that pissed me off. But then, so I'm like, mum was real bad. I'm like spoon feeding her, then doing an update, and then fucking it was bad. It wasn't just me. My sister did a lot. My dad, like it was all of us, but we were all there. And then Waikato was on the Saturday, so I had to pick 9 clients. Mum was on her way out. Like it was any day now. She was going to pass away. So I picked 9 clients on the Saturday. Mum passed on the Monday, and then I had to pick another 9 clients for the show on Saturday for nationals. And we won a pro show. We won a pro card that day too.
Wow.
And then mum's funeral was on the Monday, so there was so much happening.
2 weeks of like.
I was just like, I have to do this because I have a responsibility. Like, I can't just disappear. And, you know, I know coaches who have fucking disappeared from their clients because they've broken up with their girlfriend.
Yeah,
It's fucking pathetic. It's so weak. But I have a responsibility here. People are relying on me. I'm going to do my best. And I did my best, and I peaked them. And what pissed me off was, like, the next day after Nationals, I got text from, like, 2 people, and they're like, hey, thanks for everything. I'm going to do my own thing for a bit. And I was just like, you fucking... Ooh. They all knew what happened. And I was like, could you not have just waited, like, a week? You know what I mean? Like, give me some space. But it's just a lot of bodybuilders are like that. They don't think about other people. Yeah, and it's a problem. It's a problem. It can be a very selfish sport. In saying that, though, there was a lot of them who were amazing. I don't want to act like, oh, poor me, because I had clients bringing me food and, you know, bringing my family food, cooking it and bringing it or buying it and ordering it. So, yeah, I had a lot of help, but it was a little bit of a wake up call with a few of them, and it was just like, it's like, oh, hey man, oh, sorry to hear about what you got going through, but I'm just like, fuck, is that like, oh my god. Luckily I was so like emotionally fucked to
to deal with that.
Yeah, it was just things like that. Like, on another one, I like wrote it out this detailed program and then sent it to her, and she's like, oh, hey, I've thought about it and I don't think I'm mentally ready. And I'm just, I just spent an hour writing this during this time, and you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, can you at least pay for it? Oh, but I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, oh, you know what, don't ever talk to me again. Just things like that. So it was fucked up, but like, it's just, and people were like, oh, how did you do it? How did you keep working? I'm like, what was I meant to do? Like, just not, so that's just what I am, and that's what Mum would have wanted. Like, you know what I mean? The fact that we got a pro card that weekend should have been, should have been all over that.
100%.
It was a fucking experience, that's for sure. Holy shit! And like, it's one of those things. Like, it's recent. It's not even a year ago.
No,
a year ago. It'll be a year ago around Waikato, because that was,
Yeah.
So it's not something that just got people think. I think people think like, oh, it's done now, but it's not. It's
no way.
And like I said before, the whole dieting and shit, it helps me, because if I didn't have this, I'd probably do dumb things. I'd be drinking and I'd be going out and I'd be, using other vices that are not positive, and that would affect other areas of my life. I probably wouldn't want to get out of bed. There was a lot of times I didn't want to get out of bed, but I did it because I had to. And it would affect things in a very negative way. So I try and do positive things to move forward. And like, I'm not going to pretend, like, it's still every day there's a moment in every day that it hits me, and I have to take a moment. I'm like, fuck, like, little things. Or sometimes, like, I'll see something like, oh, I want to tell Mum, and you're like, I can't. Like, you forget for that split second. So it's a weird thing to go through. I know lots of people have gone through it. But yeah, it's fucked up as it is. It's life. It's everyone's going to go through it at some point. But I've just tried to keep going as best I can, because at the same time, other people rely on me as well. Family and whatnot. So I had a lot of responsibility. While Mum was sick, her treatments, they were like $3,500 a week, which I had to pay for. I didn't have to pay for it, but I wanted my mum to be all right, so I was paying for it out of my own pocket. We did give a little at the start, but obviously, that only gets you so far, and then that runs out, and then more treatments. Like, that's a lot of fucking money, you know what I mean? So I had that was on my. I was like, if I don't work and hustle and grind, Mum's not going to get what she needs, and I couldn't. She'd be like, oh, that's too much. I don't want you to be spending. I'm like, Mum. Like, I was like, just let me be selfish, because at least I know that if you die, I did what I could. You know what I mean? And that's something because I need to live with this. I mean, I need to live with this. I need to be, so at least, But there's a lot of with this kind of shit. There's so much that I think people just think, oh, they're sick and it's sad, but there's so much other things. And anyone that's gone through it will know, like, no journey's the same. It's just like a bodybuilding prep. Nothing's the same, but there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, definitely. And how are you feeling? Like, how are you now? Do you do things that look after your mental health as well, like, other than the gym, or do you just training, just what serves your mindset?
I have to be honest, like, I'm not the best at dealing with emotions. I keep a lot of shit in my head, but I feel like I have outlets for it in some ways. Like, I talk about things, but not as much as I should. I know that. I'm very aware of that. It's something I'm working on. I need to talk about things more, because I've always been like that. I've always bubbled things up, hidden emotions, blah 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 blah. And I think that's why I love training so much, because it allows me to fucking get it out.
Physically get it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, honestly, like a big something that's really helped me, is working with just doing what I do. It's something that takes my full attention. I'm very passionate about it. And it's honestly helped me so much. Like, although it's my job and it's my livelihood and whatnot, it's really helped, especially during the last year. Like it's probably been a bigger anchor to me than training has, in my own diet and all that, like, is the coaching and stuff. Like, it's, of course, there's been stressful things, and there's been this, you've had to deal with this person, this bullshit, but as a whole, yeah, it's definitely been my saving grace for sure.
Giving you like purpose and stuff like that to keep going. Yeah.
Purpose, and then like something to think, because I get excited, like I think about nationals, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, we're gonna win this, and like this client, like this person in fucking Miami, I'm working with them now, the show, like it's exciting, and it just takes your full attention. Like when you're working, when I'm working, I'm fully, my mind is totally absent from everything else other than this, and it's just something to fully focus on. So very similar to training in that sense. But yeah.
Does it blow your mind that you've got so many clients all over the world? You've got pros, does it blow your mind how well you've done in your business, or is it because it's been such a long grind you just expected that this was all going to happen where you are right now?
I always knew it would happen, but it does, if I think about it, especially like having people in like other countries. It's like pretty like, I'm talking to these fucking girls in Spanish. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, wow. So yeah, it is. And it's also, it makes me very grateful that so many people trust me to, because I'm like, they could hire anyone. Like, I'm talking about in general, all my clients, they could hire anyone, but they trust me to get them. For some reason, they gravitate towards me. They like how I operate. They love the results I get them. They like how I deal with them. I'm just myself. I don't put on an act. I don't sugarcoat. I don't bullshit. I'm me, and it seems to work. Funnily enough, when I wasn't myself and I would coach, I would put on this like, oh, it's okay, because I'm trying to keep everyone happy, because I have no clients, I'm trying to make money. I had no success. It wasn't until I was like, you know what, fuck it, this is how I'm going to do it, this is what I believe in. That's when I started getting results, because I was, you know what I mean? So the fact that I can be myself, and so many people trust me that with their journeys, it makes me very grateful, very humbling experience.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you're up there. I don't even know who would be the best coach in the country, but you're fucking up there somewhere. Like, you've got to be number one somewhere up there. I don't know, but you've got such a great team and so many pros and so much more to come. Like, I feel like you're still only getting warmed up, man. Like,
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely feel like I'm not even scratching the surface, to be honest.
Yeah, there's always room to grow.
I just feel every year like I learn so much new things, and I'm like even now, what I know now compared to what I knew 6 months ago, it's like I feel like a whole different coach, So
yeah, always growing. Hey,
speaking
of physique, I'm going to talk about my physique for a second. Sure. So cocky, really settle down. But I know that you don't do my check-ins. I've got my own coach, but you see my shit on Instagram, and I've put you in my close friends, so you see more than other people do. But what do you reckon about my physique? Do you reckon I'll be looking ready in 4.5 weeks? Do you reckon it's okay? Do you reckon I'm a bikini physique? Do you reckon I've fucked up and gone the wrong division? What do you reckon?
Definitely bikini, 100%. I think you have a really good structure. I think you've got a lot of potential. I think if you continue with this, I think in like a few years you can be extremely competitive, and I think you can achieve. I don't know what your goals are, but I'm assuming what they are, and I think you can achieve them. And in terms of where you're at, you're going well. Like, just keep going how you're going. Don't take the foot off the gas. Keep pushing, and you'll be there. Like, you'll look good. Like I said, you've got a great structure. So it's just bringing that conditioning in, and if you can do that, you're going to be a handful.
If we can do that, is the question.
You can. You can. You have time.
Fucking glutes are so hard to get down, dude. Like, they're but it's all right.
I mean, look, like. Yeah. With what I've noticed, so something, and this goes for any class, the first few times you diet, it is much harder to bring in those muscles. Every time, it's like muscle memory, but the opposite. So every time you diet, it just seems to come in easier, and the more muscle you put on that area as well, the more they're going to come in. So although like girls usually with crazy tie-ins and whatnot, generally they've done it a few times.
Yeah.
So don't get too caught up, but keep pushing it, because for sure you'll get there. You'll get there if you know, if you keep coming down and keep training hard and all that good shit.
Yay! Thank you. I appreciate it. That's
really. And I would tell you if I thought the opposite.
Yeah. But you fucking better. Don't be soft on me, man. Like I'll be.
Don't know how to be.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how we all stack up this year. I'm just excited to get feedback. That's what I want to do first, and see what I need to work on, and then bring it back harder next year. That's the goal, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and I don't want kids, so fuck, I can go as hard as I want, man. If I want to do PEDs, I'll do the PEDs. You fucking wait. Everyone will know though. They'll be able to tell. Cool. I'm happy to hear that. Who do you reckon is getting their pro card this year? I reckon we should do like a little each division. Who's your pick? And then I reckon I'll give you mine, and we'll see who's right. We'll see who stacks up.
You go first.
Oh, I knew you'd do that.
Because I'm coaching too many of them. It's like I don't want to.
You can be biased as well. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Yeah. So for me, I reckon for men, bodybuilding, Frank. Men's plastic physique, Ben. On Team Abelardo, I always fuck up his last name. And men's physique, Casey Cree. I reckon he'll get it. I don't know though. We'll see. Fuck knows. And then for women, figure. I don't know, man. I just love Melissa Exton, so I'm not sure, but I just love her physique. So we'll see what happens in figure. Wellness. I've got a client in wellness, so I better not. But she knows that it's her first year. She knows she's got room to grow, all that shit. She wouldn't want to become a pro in her first show, I guarantee it. So, but she's Becca Robertson. But otherwise, it would be Hayley. And I know it's her first show too, but she's just fucking mad. And bikini, I'm going to go with Rochelle Lloyd because there's other talent in the country, but there's a lot of talent not competing this year. So in bikini. So I reckon they're going to come back next year, those two, like a few of the girls that haven't competed this year. So I reckon maybe Rochelle, maybe it's her turn. Who knows? Fuck knows. We'll see what
she looks like she's made some serious improvements. I saw a photo. Sheena posted a photo of it the other day.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of her physique, to be honest.
Same. Yeah.
But just hasn't been rewarded. And I feel like she's come down a bit in a good way.
Yeah.
And she was gonna look good. I'm not going to say my picks because it's like I don't want to upset anyone.
Oh, what? And you've got someone in all divisions anyway, don't you? Kind of.
I don't have anyone in open bodybuilding. That's the only one. I do actually. I do, but he won't go pro.
Oh, okay. So who do you think?
I know who's going to go pro in open bodybuilding.
Oh,
lives in Hamilton. He's not going to be beaten. He's freaky as fuck. He. I don't know. Yeah, I competed with him. That's who I competed with in 2018. But he's gone to another level.
Wow.
That's why people win. But I think it's going to open. You know the cool thing, like there's so many people, and so like generally going into nationals, you know who's going to win, or you know like it's this person. But there's so like open bodybuilding. There's him, that guy from Hamilton. There's Frank. There's Dom. There's a bunch of guys. Anthony. There's a bunch of guys who are solid competitors, and if someone's off, they're going to be punished.
Yeah.
There's no one that's like so much better.
Yeah.
It's same goes in all the classes. So I think the guy's name's Dean. I can't see anyone beating Dean in open bodybuilding. That's the one. I'll give that one because I don't have any clients in the class.
Okay, cool. We'll take it.
Other than that, yeah. But the same goes. Like I don't really know many people doing wellness, to be honest with you, other than my girls. Like I don't like who I don't. I know of a few, but I haven't paid that much attention this year to other competitors that I'm not coaching.
Yeah,
just for whatever reason, I don't really know. But same with bikini. Like there's probably like 4 of them or 4 that I know of that are like probably legit contenders.
Yeah,
that it could go to either of them. It's gonna come down to who brings it.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's good enough to be not at their best.
Yeah.
If anyone's not at the best, they're not going to win. It's going to come down to who brings it on the day. Same with me physique. The guy you said's the guy that won on the weekend.
Yeah.
He looks great.
Anthony.
There's my guy Upai who looks amazing, young guy. There's Akira who looks great. Like there's a bunch of guys. Same with classic. Like Ben looks fucking awesome. Dylan compete on the weekend looks great. Like there's a bunch of guys. So it's gonna come down to who brings it, and like I said, people need to start paying more attention to their conditioning because that's what's gonna make the difference. It's gonna be who gets in shape, and if you're not on, you shouldn't have had that cheat meal.
Yeah, you should have had that cheat meal, mate. You do it.
So yeah, yeah.
But it'll be fun, right? It's
We'll
some
see.
good talent. Yeah. Yeah. I really hope Louise White gets back on stage one day as well, just for wellness as well, because I
There's a lot of potential. A lot of potential.
fucking kill it, man. I want to see her.
There's a lot of people in that situation though. A lot of people with heaps of potential in New Zealand, but you know, whether that's met or not is you know, it's all well and good having potential, but can you do what's needed to be done? She's young though, so she's got plenty of time.
No, yeah, she's got the right team backing her too. Like, I mean, she's got Paris right there, so who knows? We'll see how it all goes. For you, are you, like, I know you're coaching, you're super busy, but are you taking on people right now? You do lifestyle and prep clients and stuff like that. Talk to me about your business. Are you open? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm open to anyone who wants to commit and work hard.
There you go.
So I work with lots of people. I don't post about it, but I work with quite a few professional athletes as well. Just nutrition, not training, like boxers and whatnot. Over the years, all different kind of sports. It's probably only like 10% of my client base, but majority I'd say is 50% is bodybuilders, 40% is lifestyle, and then 10% is that. And when I say bodybuilders, it's not necessarily people who compete. It's just people who want to, you know, be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to compete to be a bodybuilder. So yeah, I'm always taking people on. Well, not always, but I am at the moment. So if you want to, you know, you just reach out to me. We'll tee up a consult and go from there.
There you go, guys. If you wanna get coached by Jordan and not be a sook,
I'm not that bad.
I'm just kidding. I'm just winding into it. It's fun, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how you do it. So they just hit you up on Instagram, probably is the best way, right?
Yeah, just send me a message on Instagram. We'll go from there.
Nice. There you go. Did we miss anything from this chat? Did I miss any questions or any topics you want to cover?
I don't think so.
No, we did a lot of it.
We talked a lot.
We did. I think it's a long one, but it's all good. That's what they wanted. People wanted Jordan. I've given you lots of Jordan.
A lot of Jordan.
Yeah, you got all you wanted, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I like to ask my guests as well if they want to catch up with me again, maybe after the season or something, do a little wrap up, see what happened, see if I was right about my pro cards. I don't know.
We could do one right before Nationals if you want.
Oh, yeah, cool. Sweet. Yeah, after all the
regions. I'll give you my predictions.
I'm holding you to it.
We'll do another one at some point. Just let me know.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm so stoked. All right, everyone needs to go and buy tickets and go and fucking watch these last shows. Go pump Mo some cash, guys. Go and do it. So Wellington, wait, is it Wellington this week? No, South Island this weekend.
South Island.
Wellington next weekend off, then Waikato's. And if you're in Auckland, you better come and watch Nationals or you will be punished. All right.
And if you're watching this, make sure you go to the pro show.
Yes.
The support these shows get, the more they're going to have.
Yeah.
Goes, oh, but there's not this class. Who cares? Support it because next year you might get an opportunity.
Yeah, and I've heard whispers about next year, and we may have a pro show here again. So
we will, as long as it gets supported.
Yeah, so go and watch the pro show. It's Mo's Muscles, and it's a classic and physique pro. What is it? Pro show. But all divisions will be there. So if you're like, oh, there's no bikini will be on the stage. Everyone will be on the stage.
So a good idea, just quickly, a good idea is if you are, you know, if you do nationals, it makes sense to jump into that show because it qualifies you for next year's nationals. And then you don't have to do a regional next year. You can do that. You have a whole year to focus on nationals. Sure. And as a coach, I strongly recommend that. Yeah. It just makes it's so much easier. So gives you a little bit more time off season, and you don't have to peak for one show, and so
qualified makes it easy. Yeah. And then you can always do a regional next year as well if you feel like you fucking want to see what's happening.
I feel like there may be a few pro cards at that show too. I had a feeling.
Yeah.
But most is saying about more to come or something. So it's like maybe.
I was talking to Mo on the weekend, guys. He's got some shit up his sleeve for next year, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. So go pump him, like go buy those tickets. Stop live streaming and shit, and go buy tickets. And maybe someone will live stream on the day. Who knows? We'll see. But this is the problem with the live streams: is it stops by people buying tickets. So that's the problem. So let's buy tickets. Go fucking watch it live. You'll get a clear view, and then we'll just support IFBB. Keep it going. That's what we should be doing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jordan. Thanks for your time.
All good. Anytime.
Thank you. And I'm sure I'll see you I'll see you at Waikato, won't I?
You will. Good luck. All the best. Bring it. I want to see you bring it.
I will. I'll be there. I'll be trying to push up your girls. Yes. All right.
I welcome the battles. I love it.
I love it too. I'm all about it. We'll do it. All right. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right.
Great. Thanks. Bye.